Hey folks, this is Billy DKY, the truth seeker that simplifies and demystifies. Today we're going to be talking about UFC 103 predictions. We're going to start off talking about Rich Franklin versus Vitor Belfort. I really haven't seen enough of Vitor Belfort to know how he's going to do. I mean, I've seen some fights when he fought Chuck Liddell, and I think he might have fought Randy or Tito or something like that a long time ago. You know, he's not been in the top organization for a long time, so just on that alone, I'm going to have to go with Rich Franklin to win that fight because Rich has been the champion in the top organization, and he's fought the best fighters, and really he performed very well except for when he fought Anderson Silva, which Anderson Silva's made a lot of people look bad, so he did a good job compared to everybody else, so I'm going to have to go with Rich just right off that. However, let's talk a little bit more about the fight. You know, I'm excited to see Vitor Belfort in the UFC. I do remember him being a highly explosive guy, but it seemed like he exploded and then he gassed out a lot. At least that's what I remember. And so I think one of the things that Rich Franklin's going to have to avoid is the storm that Vitor is going to bring to him, at least probably in the first round, or Vitor feels that Rich is hurt, then he's going to attack with one of those explosions. So I think Rich will be able to weather that storm, and then I think after that storm, Rich will start putting an ass whipping on Vitor. That's what I think will happen. Let me see if there's anything else I want to say. Unless Vitor has learned, you know, to use his energy a little wiser, which I don't know because I haven't seen these last couple of fights. I can't remember where he's fighting, Elite XC or Affliction or Strike Force or whatnot. Okay. So anyway, I think on that fight, like I say, I don't really have an idea what's going to happen. I think they are meeting at 185 or 195 instead of 185 or 205. So that ought to be, you know, that ought to probably help Rich out a little bit, I guess. So I'm going to give Rich the edge with the 65% chance of winning, so which that leaves Vitor with 35% chance of winning. I just like I say, I think Rich has fought the better guys, and he's probably a better fighter. And we'll just have to see if that's true or not. Next fight, Mirko Cro Cop versus Dos Santos. I don't know anything about Dos Santos, so again, I really haven't seen Mirko Cro Cop fight enough in the UFC to know how he's really going to handle, you know, the guys in the UFC. I mean, I think I might have seen a fight or two in Pride, so I don't really know a whole lot of what's going to happen in this fight. Okay, so let's see. But I am glad to see Mirko Cro Cop back in the UFC fighting again. I didn't know what was going to happen after that. After the Gonzaga, you know, ass whipping he took. Okay. I don't know if here's what I think will happen. If Dos Santos is an up and comer, then I think he'll whip Mirko Cro Cop. If he's not an up and comer, then I think Mirko Cro Cop will come in there and intimidate him like he's done a lot of the other guys. So I really don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to call it 50-50. It could go either way. Next fight, Mike Swick versus Martin Kampmann. Okay. I haven't seen either one of these guys fight enough similar competition to know how this fight's going to go down. However, both of them have moved down from 185 to go to 170 to try to be a dominant force in 170. So, and I think both are good strikers. But for some reason, I believe Mark Kampmann is a better striker. I can't remember if he's some kind of champion in, you know, Holland or Germany or something like that. In my opinion, Mark Kampmann is the better striker. Even though I haven't seen him fight light competition, I think what's going to happen, I think Mark Kampmann will KO Swick in the second round. But don't get me wrong, it's funny because both these guys are very similar in a lot of ways. They're both good strikers, and they just didn't have enough at 185. They need to move down to 170 to be a dominant force. And I'm going to have to give a slight edge to Mark Kampmann at 55%, which leaves 45% to Swick. I think that's going to be it. That's a real interesting fight. Like I said, I'm real interested to see what's going to happen on that. The next fight is Josh Koscheck versus Frank Trigg. It seems like both of these guys have done similar with similar opponents, so it looks to me like a 50-50, fight again. 50%, 50% of the time. Frank Trigg would win, 50% just Josh Koscheck, and I think they're both sort of a similar type of guy. They're both wrestlers. I really don't like either one of them that much. So it really don't bother me which one loses or which one wins. They have sort of a, I don't know, they just, both of them rub me just a little wrong. I'm not saying I hate them, they both rub me a little wrong. So, I don't really know what's going to happen. They're both good wrestlers, so I see the first round being at least a stand-up, and maybe if one of them's getting the worst of the stand-up, they'll try to take it down, which I'm not convinced who's going to be able to take who down, because, I'm not for sure what's the good fight there. So it'll be interesting to see. Don't have a whole lot to say on it. Tyson Griffin versus Hermes Franca. I think we've already seen this fight when we saw Hermes Franca fight Sean Sherk. Basically, Tyson Griffin is just another Sean Sherk, just maybe just a little less caliber than Sean Sherk, but he's basically the same kind of guy. And Hermes Franca had a tough time with Sean Sherk, taking him down and laying on him, putting his power on him. And Tyson Griffin trains with Randy Couture, so they're going to use that same game plan, I think. So, I don't really see it going any different than the Sean Sherk Hermes Franca fight. So I'm going to give the edge to Tyson Griffin with 60% chance, which leaves 40% for Hermes Franca. Okay, on the undercards, I really only want to talk about one. Drew McFedrick versus Tomas Dewal. I do not know why Drew McFedrick is not on the main card, or where we're going to get to see it, because every fight that I've ever seen Drew McFedrick in, it has been a fight I wanted to see. It was exciting. It ended the first round. I want to see the guy fight. I don't care if he's the worst fighter in the UFC. It's always a good fight when he fights. Joe Silva or whoever it is, or whoever puts these people on the card, you need to move this guy up always to be shown, because it's a great show when that guy shows up. Miscellaneous MMA stuff. I don't know if any of you seen it, the Gina Carano versus Chris Cyborg fight. I really didn't expect it to go down that way. I really expected Gina Carano to give a better showing of herself. But before the fight even started, though, Chris Cyborg, you could just tell her spirit, her manhood, or whatever, her mind was just bigger than Gina Carano, and it just, it was just obvious. I thought it was obvious before it even got started she was going to lose, but it's, I'm sure it's tough. But anyway, if you wouldn't mind, folks, please rate, and later, folks.